Business owners like Allah are wondering when their customers will return as the slow demolition of a condemned Glasgow building continues. Teams taking down the India building say they're unable to give a fixed date due to the complexities of the job. Residents have been evacuated while contractors are working to preserve the building's historic stone sign. Brandy Cook reports.
It should be one of the busiest roads in Glasgow, congested with motorists travelling over the River Clyde to and from the city centre. But this afternoon, this section of Bridge Street remained shut off to the public as demolition teams continued work on the hazardous India building. Half of Allah's shop is beyond the safety cordon. Inside, he's boarded the section off and says fewer customers are visiting as they think he's closed.
We are new in this area. We don't complete 1 year. We just starting. We building is the business hardly step by step, And suddenly, they came. They want to break this building down. Before they give us any notes or any things, just suddenly like that, you have to close. Does affect our business is really bad.
There's no timescales on how long businesses and residents evacuated in the adjoining block will have to endure these works. Glasgow City Council say this is because it's a very complex demolition of a building left in a dangerously poor condition by its private owner.
We need to have much greater enforcement of the current legislation, and we might need to look at enhancing that legislation to ensure that owners are held to greater account for their behaviour. I think if they're not able to financially renovate a building of this scale, then they should sell it on, or they should declare that they're unable to maintain the building and then hand it over for a token amount to, say, a social housing provider.
It's hoped the historic India building sign can be saved. Workers today gradually took it down piece by piece. The demolition contractors here are going to great lengths to try and preserve the stonework at the top of the building, but ultimately there's no guarantee that they'll be able to remove it safely. And if they can't, and if there's no adequate arrangements made for it, then they'll have no choice but to dispose of it. With no real timescales on how long work here will last, businesses and residents say they're preparing for the worst. Meanwhile, frustrations linger about how this prominence-listed building was allowed to fall into such disrepair, and questions of which one will be next. Brandon Cook, STV News.